last night, we found out that there were a number of members of Congress during the melee that were seeking pardons. The things that you don't seek unless you've done something wrong. In particular, the one that was called out was Republican Scott Perry, who happens to represent the 10th district in Pennsylvania. Watch this.
As you will see, Representative Perry contacted the White House in the weeks after January 6th to seek a presidential pardon. Multiple other Republican congressmen also sought presidential pardons for their roles in attempting to overturn the 2020 election.
Yeah, pardons, those things you don't seek unless you did something wrong. That really tells us it's essentially an admission of guilt as far as I'm concerned. But we know more about the whole pardon situation, this per Politico. So Perry was a major actor in then President Donald Trump's attempt to overturn the election, connecting Trump with Jeffrey Clark, an official in the Department of Justice, who supported Trump's efforts, according to testimony and documents obtained by the committee. Cheney on Thursday talked about how close the former president came to appointing Clark as acting attorney general, and that the former president wanted Clark to send a letter to Georgia and 5 other states saying that the US Department of Justice had identified significant concerns that may have impacted the outcome of the election. This letter is a lie, Cheney said. Now, Perry is the chair of the kind of the pro-Trump Freedom Caucus, it seems. And as Cheney pointed out, the congressman refused to comply with the subpoena to appear. This is what she said. Mark, just checking in as time continues to count down. Perry texted Meadows on December 26, 2020, according to messages released by the select panel. 11 days to 1/6 and 25 days to inauguration. We gotta get going. These efforts were halted after other Justice Department leaders threatened to resign if Trump moved forward with selecting Clark as Attorney General. It definitely seems like these text messages tend to be pretty damning, especially those that Mark Meadows released, which makes you wonder why he didn't get hit with that misdemeanor for failing to comply with the committee. But we definitely seem to have gotten a lot of information from how he was using his phone. Brett?
This is coup stuff. This is coup stuff. Whenever there's a coup, it's not like someone with one sword runs into the Bastille and says, I'm in charge now. No, you take your group of people, you get them in place, you replace the sane people who run the government or the insane people who run the government based on your opinion, and you go in and you bring in a new government and put it in place, right? Now, what makes this a bad kind of a coup is that the things that Trump and company wanted to replace were decent, fundamental tenets of American democracy. The idea that a lot of people voted for Joe Biden and fewer people voted for Donald Trump. In every other country in the world, really, you'd say, well, Joe Biden should be president. In America, it's crazy already because we have the Electoral College. So that's not normally enough. Joe Biden overcame not only the popular vote problem, or the popular vote not only won the popular vote, but overcame the Electoral College nonsense. And even in the eyes of people like Bill Barr, Ivanka Trump, people who Trump brought in to be on his side, there was no credible claim that Trump should be president. And so Trump, to prove that this is crazy, those folks were on that side. The people that were gonna help him form a new government that is not an American style government, mind you, those people did things we have documented. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna do this. The release text message says, this is our plot to orchestrate the coup. And it didn't come to fruition because people stopped them. And that's all we're pointing out. And as if that's not enough, afterwards, I mean, Adrienne, you're more of an expert on this than me, but the mens rea, the mind of the person, the intent, the knowledge of culpability. He knows he's culpable because in the wake of it, the guy's asking to be pardoned by the president. Another bat crap crazy thing about the United States, the president's like, who are my roll boys on my way out? The only reason we forgive the presidential pardon process is because it usually happens at the very end as they're flushing out the old guard and replacing it peacefully with the new guard. something that, as we have quite well documented, everyone in Trump's orbit sought to stop through a coup, both administrative, through what we just discussed, and violent through the people that we all know that, and there's not much coverage of that on this show here today, but because we all know it, who watch this show, there were violent people that they released new footage of saying we are going in there and this is our streets, and they broke windows and they went in to kill Mike Pence and to hang Nancy Pelosi. That's a coup, and it's not cool with me.
No, definitely. It shouldn't be cool with anybody who believes in democracy and just wants a normal, peaceful transfer of power based on what the people have wanted in terms of their will with the vote. And it is interesting to the extent that we look at this whole conspiracy element, at least for me in the legal realm, because generally when you start to conspire to commit a crime, to be able to break away and not be responsible for the crimes that are committed in the aftermath, that requires a good, I'm not doing this, pushing away, making it so abundantly clear. But it seems that a number of people and participants have continued to be a part of Trump's nonsense, even in the aftermath. And I think they should be held accountable for every crime and every offense against our country that has been committed since day one when they started planning this coup. So it's probably from, election day onward, if not even before. And the things we continue to learn, the information that's coming out, it is scary.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.